What is up, everybody? You are checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, the Hot Commodity Ant C, joined by my friend and co-host. Introduce yourself, sir.
Me, Christian. I'm switching to my computer in a second. I'm kind of in the middle of something. I'm on my phone, but good to be here. What are we talking about? SmackDown? Um,
SmackDown. I'm
yeah,
still the
SmackDown's
WWE
really
pay-per-view champ, too, brother.
SmackDown's the show where it's at right now.
Yeah, I agree. There's been a lot of like it seems like a lot of the more storyline driven stuff is happening on
Like
SmackDown,
Roman and
happening
fucking
on.
CM Punk are gonna go face to face, and Seth Rollins could possibly cause them out WarGames. Yeah, SmackDown's really, but Raw's gonna turn up once Netflix because all those guys are gonna go on Raw. So
We'll see, man. I mean, hopefully there's some changes and with it being under TV 14, maybe we'll get more realistic, more dynamic storylines. However, if we see a situation like Vince when it's like he wants to impregnate his daughter, then I'm not going to be interested right now.
no, yeah, I hope it's not stupid shit like that. Of course.
But we are covering WWE Friday Night SmackDown from November 22nd, 2024, live in Salt Lake City, Utah. And to kick off SmackDown, the Bloodline come out with Bronson Reed. Solo says, "We are 1 week away from War Games, and me and my crew are ready to dominate Roman Reigns. He is not ready for Survivor
So I'll
Series.
be back in a minute.
He's not even here yet. Once you surrender, you and your crew can finally acknowledge me." So basically, Solo is telling Roman, surrender before you fight at War Games. Join me and you'll be safe. Clearly, Roman is not going to join with the Bloodline, but this opening segment kind of, I don't think it was really necessary. Like, it wasn't really like, um, there wasn't like a fight. There wasn't. It was just Solo talking. And what do you think about this little warning for Roman that surrender and join us?
I don't know. This whole thing is kind of interesting to me because there's been some interesting. Now we know I'm not going to say anything right now, but some interesting people involved now. I just think it's too much of a clusterfuck. I really do. It's going to be a great match. It's a great story. It's just I think Solo's doing a great job.
Mm,
He's definitely elevated his character. Same thing with the new bloodline. Um, it just feels like I don't know if the reason why I say it feels like a clusterfuck is because I don't know if Roman trusts Sammy. I don't know if they trust each other. I don't even know. I think Roman's still jealous of Jay. Um, I think Jimmy and Jay probably aren't 100% on the best terms. Now see we got to see with spoiler alert CM Punk. I mean, it's just there's a lot of shit that's still has to be talked about and settled before their War Games match. Otherwise, the new bloodline will walk in uh Vancouver, Canada, victorious.
yeah, and like you're right. There's a lot of like combustible parts. You mentioned, Jay not, or was it who's not trusting Sammy right now? Isn't it like Jimmy?
It's like Roman and Jimmy, yeah.
So
And
there's
like
that element.
and it's like how do we know because if I'm Sammy, right?
Mhm.
If I'm Sammy, I don't forget what Roman Reigns did to me. So it's like this might be crazy, but it's like I can see Sami Zayn low key turning if
Right.
like Roman because I mean, dude, Sami Zayn has. I hate Sami Zayn. I think he's a fucking little pussy, but he has every right to maybe pull a little dirty trick on Roman Reigns.
hmm He totally could. I mean, it's at first I was kind of like it's stupid, but it is interesting because you're going into this really wondering, can this team make it? Can they survive? And normally you don't feel that way. Normally you're like, okay, it's going to be a War Games match. This is really a match where it's almost like strange bedfellows. You got all these people who don't trust each other, and it has to be a team effort if you're fighting in war games. And I like that little combustible element. Is someone going to turn? Is something going to happen? It makes the match more exciting to watch and to guess what's going to happen. So I'm definitely looking forward to the war games match there, and we'll talk more about the fifth member later on. We have a first round triple threat match for the WWE Women's United States Championship. We have women's tag team champion Bianca Belair versus Blair Davenport versus Chelsea Green. Bianca hits a springboard standing moonsault to Blair. Bianca then hits a double German suplex. Jade Cargill during the match is seen on the Titantron. She's passed out on top of a car, which distracts Bianca, and then Jade Cargill hits an Unpretty Her to Blair Davenport, and Chelsea Green advances in the women's U.S. title tournament. But the main, aside from Chelsea winning, the other main part is who attacked Jade Cargill. Some people are saying Naomi. Some people are saying Bianca. I think it's going to be Bianca. But how interesting would it be if it was? Like, there's floating around on Facebook that it would be interesting if Naomi teamed up with Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, and it was them that were behind it, and they were hi, there's like three of us. There's like four of us now. Hello, here we go. There.
Hi.
Hi. Do not adjust your sets.
What?
What did I say? What was I asked? What was I talking about?
What did you just say to me?
Oh, I said do not adjust your sets, telling everybody at home. So I do think it's going to be Bianca. I don't think it's going to be Naomi.
That's just the most realistic thing. I mean, I've been saying this for fucking every single PLE. I've been saying this for months. They need to finally get the ball moving on this. They need to stir the pot, and this is certainly the best way they can do that, is to have something like this. Now, this is an unexpected way. I definitely pictured a simple, apparently this is to cover a real life injury too.
Yeah, she's really
injured. It was reported that, I'm not going to give the fucker's name because I hate who the reporter was, but he reported it, and we got to see if that's real.
I also liked that it wasn't just like she was attacked backstage. Like, she's on the hood of a car. Like, homegirl looked like she got fucked up, so that was interesting. So we will probably find out how it happened, but I do hope that if it is Bianca who did it, I hope she had someone who helped her, because the way the damage was, it's like, Bianca, I mean, I'm sure Bianca could fuck her up and do that, but I don't know. It looks like it could take two people to do that. Moving on, though, we have WWE US Champion LA Knight defending against Santos Escobar with Legado del Fantasma. Before the match, Shinsuke Nakamura does his promo on LA Knight, basically saying he wants the title. During the match, Shinsuke comes out on the stage. LA hits a BFT to Santos, gets the victory. After Shinsuke attacks LA Knight, tosses LA shoulder first to the ring post, and then Shinsuke hits a running knee to the back of LA Knight. So Shinsuke is coming back. It's like this gimmick is it's a little different because he has his face painted a little bit, but what are your thoughts on the return of Shinsuke so far? He's been back for 2 weeks. Like, he really hasn't done much,
I think the return of Shinsuke Nakamura is something that they're not going to capitalize on. At this point in Shinsuke Nakamura's career, he's better off going to AEW. I think he's tried his little Japanese promos. It just, I don't think he's well with the American audience anymore. Not saying he ever was, but he did have a crazy push. Matter of fact, he is a Royal Rumble winner. So it's just weird how that just happened. right away. But I don't look LA Knight. I don't see him losing the title anytime soon, and there's no one on that roster that I feel like could legitimately compete with LA Knight.
Do you like him though? Because I really feel like
LA Knight? I've never been a fan of him.
I feel like he doesn't do anything. Like, yes, he
He's
defends
just
the title.
Anything. I think he's starting to like people. Like, I think it was like people wanted LA Knight to win the U.S. title or a championship for so long because he's never won it. Now he has it, and it's like you don't fight anybody good. You don't have any good. You were having better promos and better matches with people when you weren't champion.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and when Logan Paul as champion, like, you were rooting for him to lose. Like, you cared because you wanted to see him lose. With this LA Knight, it's just like, okay, yeah. It's like, who cares? Like, like he's not interesting. All he does, the only cool thing he does when he leaps onto the ropes and does the superplex. That's the only thing that I think is cool in his arsenal. Other than that, it's like a basic mid-carder in my eyes, 100%. We then see WWE Champion Cody Rhodes come out. Cody says, they are saying Kevin Owens is not here, but I know you are. Get out here. We see Kevin Owens show up in the crowd. Kevin says, I was summoned here because Cody Rhodes wanted me here. It's your fault I pile drove Randy Orton. For 4 years, I fought the Bloodline every week. Roman tried to end my career, and he never could. I fought them alongside you. You finish your story. A few months later, Roman needs a partner, and you say yes. He tried to ruin my career, and you were agreeing to team up with him. Cody says, me teaming with Roman Reigns had nothing to do with you. Nobody holds Kevin Owens down more than yourself. You are one of the best wrestler, and everyone knows it but you. You couldn't pull the trigger at Bash in Berlin. You finally pulled the trigger, but on the wrong guy. Randy Orton did not deserve what you did to him. Kevin says, you'll get your match, but when I say so. When it does happen, I loved Randy Orton, and look at what I did to him, and I hate you. And Cody says, Kevin, I think you hate yourself. So, interesting back and forth here. We did find out we will see Kevin and Cody fight at Saturday night's main event, I think December 14th. But what are your thoughts? I did like how Kevin Owens said the end where it's like, I loved Randy Orton and I took him out. Imagine what I'm going to do to somebody that I hate, which is I liked. Clearly he's not going to win, but what do you think of this?
hold on.
That's my little Christmas ringtone.
Okay. My bad. I was texting my best friend.
You're fine.
So, this was an okay promo. I enjoyed Kevin Owens here. I kind of enjoyed Cody.
Mm-hmm.
I think these two are gonna have a match at they're main eventing. What's it? Saturday night's main event.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I've seen some. I'm gonna reverse it back to you because a lot of people think Kevin Owens should win. Do you think he should win?
I think he should be champion again, but he hasn't done anything really deserving of it right now. But
I agree.
But I do think what I think should happen is I would like to see him go to Raw and go after a Gunther or a Damian Priest, guys that we haven't seen him really fight against. He's always been like a SmackDown guy, so he's always fought like not really the same people, but like LA Knights, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade's, Randy Orton, like the same people. I think he should be a champion because I think he is entertaining, but I don't think with the way Cody Rhodes makes money for them, and he's the next John Cena, Cody Rhodes, so they're not going. It would be cool,
Yeah,
different, and shocking, but he's not going to drop the belt till Mania or after Mania at least. But I definitely think Owens deserves a title. Next up, we have a tag match. We've got Tiffany Stratton and Candice LeRae with the women's champion Nia Jax taking on Bayley and Naomi. During the match, Bayley dives onto Tiffany Stratton on the floor, but then Nia attacks Naomi on the floor, which gives a DQ victory to Bayley and Naomi. After Io Sky runs out, followed by world champion Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, they attack the faces until Rhea Ripley runs out with a kendo stick and attacks the bad ladies. And we've got this big WarGames match coming up between the females at the pay-per-view. Random conglomeration. Like, there's really no storyline behind it. It's just good guys versus bad guys type deal. But good to see Rhea Ripley, and obviously she means business here. What do you think?
With Rhea, everyone's calling her Rhea Hogan. Everyone's sick of Rhea Ripley.
Really?
That's what yeah. Because we're talking about how she came out, right? People were really surprised to see her there. And people were getting the same feeling that they got with Becky Lynch a couple years ago when the whole man gimmick came out, where it was like, okay, Becky's always in the spotlight. Becky's in the spotlight. This is going to be clipped and put on Twitter. Listen, you IWC fucking idiots. You fucking idiots. Name a draw in that fucking women's division right now. No, Becky Lynch is not in the company at the moment. Give me a woman on that damn roster since, we got to appreciate women's wrestling. We got to give women more opportunities. They're making 2 fucking mid-card championships for what? For what? There's nobody on that damn roster that draws ratings like Rhea Ripley. Do you see who gets the pop that Rhea Ripley does in the women's division? Again, don't say Becky Lynch because she has not been on TV since Night of Champions.
Yeah.
Who? Nobody. Not Chelsea Green, not Maxine Dupree, not Bianca Belair anymore, because her teaming with Jade Cargill has put her down, her stock.
I agree.
Not
and
Nia
now
Jax,
she has a title that she can't even defend.
Maybe Liv Morgan because people hate her.
Mm-hmm.
But Rhea Ripley she's bigger than wise as like fan wise than some of the guys on this roster. Some of your favorite wrestlers on this roster. So Rhea Ripley could take all the spotlight she wants in the women's division. Now, I will agree, the shit with her and Liv Morgan and Dominic starting to get old. I think it should have ended when her and Priest had that tag team match together. I forget what pay-per-view it was at. One of the international shits.
I think it was I don't even remember.
I don't remember. But it was just like, come on. Like, they don't have anybody for Rhea Ripley. I'm waiting till the greatest women's wrestler to ever step foot in the business. And I know people are going to say Trish Stratus, with all due respect. It's Charlotte Flair. It's Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair is the greatest women's wrestler the WWE has ever seen. I was one of those people who hated her because she was Ric Flair's daughter and thought that I was a teenager, I was immature. As a 22-year-old young adult, she's so fucking athletic. She's tall as hell and does shit that, whoa. She's in phenomenal shape. She's fine as hell. She's very good. I mean, she's a 12-time women's champion?
Mm-hmm.
Hold up. Well,
I think she's like 14. I think she's beating her father's streak, or she's like tied or something with him.
She is a 14-time world champion, and it's like you can't hate on her, man. She's awesome. So, until she gets back, or until Becky Lynch gets back, Rhea Ripley's the fucking greatest women's wrestler in the business. They have Toni Storm ranked higher than her on ESPN. Those fucking idiots. They have Toni Storm a higher rank than Rhea Ripley.
She's been on more TV this year. That's the only reason why.
It's because Rhea Ripley, or it's because they got to throw an AEW in there.
I think the
Look,
reason
I love AEW. So
I do too. I think the reason why Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley stand out is because they're believable. Like when you see them, they're tall, they're athletic,
they're jacked.
They
like they're fucking, and they're naturally jacked. They look like wrestlers. You're gonna tell me Liv Morgan looks like a wrestler? You're gonna tell me Maxine Dupree looks like a wrestler? You're gonna tell me Jade Cargill looks like a wrestler? She looks like a, I'm not gonna say it. She looks like a basketball player.
Oh God, you're gonna get canceled.
I didn't want to say, but she looks like a basketball player. So does Maxine Dupree. Maxine Dupree looks like Cameron Brink.
Oh, look at how quick you are to do that. I love you. Here's the deal. I think that you used a white lady. Great. Here's the thing. I think that like Rhea Ripley is believable. She's got this thing where like you see her, she comes in, she's going to take care of business, and I think that's why I think right now she's the best as well. Let's move on though before you in the world we live in today upset people. We have.
I don't listen, Ant. Look, you're Unk, right? You especially know this more than me. You know this. I grew up watching South Park, Family Guy, The Boondocks, all this shit. I don't give a fuck, dude. I love dark humor. No, I'm not gonna say anything disrespectful. I would never say anything like.
You're gonna be the next John Hines. Do you know who that guy is?
I'm not gonna lie. I thought about not saying that, but it's like, you look at like, dude, Jade. Because listen, Jade Cargill she just does not have what it takes to be a wrestler in the ring, in my opinion. But she's beautiful. She's athletic as fuck. She has the biggest six-pack I've ever seen. She just put her in the fucking paint down below and just give her the ball. She'd fucking score 35 points a game.
Maxine Dupree, too.
Maxine Dupree's tall as shit, too. I think she played some shit, and give her, she's tall, because she's tall as hell. No, but
is a snap.
Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley are the only ones that look like pro wrestlers. I like Chelsea Green, though.
Yeah, Chelsea Green's a good kid. I like her. Let's move on quick. We have Montez Ford taking on Tommaso Ciampa. During the match, Montez rolls up Ciampa to get the win. After Ciampa attacks the Street Profits, and Johnny Gargano comes out, he tries to tell him to relax, and Ciampa pushes Gargano to the mat. And then the WWE Tag Champions, Motor City Machine Guns, come out, and
I just can't. Oh my god!
And that was it for that segment.
That was dumb, but I just can't believe we live in a world today. I'm sorry, I can't stop thinking about it. I can't believe we live in a world today where somebody could potentially call me a racist because I said somebody should be a basketball player. And I didn't know basketball was a black person sport, bro. I'm gonna be honest. The best college basketball player in the country is a white guy. I mean, I like that. That's just so stupid to me. Like,
well, we are the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. So
we are the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. That's why I don't give a fuck. And I don't give a fuck because actually, I don't know people. Because I said this right. I was like, yeah, like I do a podcast. Like I showed somebody our podcast. Like, oh, like you guys are at like over 700 subscribers. I'm like, yeah, like we're getting there.
713.
Yeah, and whatever. Like we're doing good. Like we're almost at our goal. Our goal is 1,000.
Make sure you subscribe, people.
Make sure you subscribe. But 1,000 is ultimately the goal. I think you would agree. So fuck was I gonna say?
Well, and to also to kind of like before we have to leave, to kind of add to what you're saying though, a lot of the recruits are athletic people that do play basketball and do play
That's all of NXT. That's
Yeah.
all of NXT.
So, you're not saying anything that's really bad. I mean, for all we know, I mean, they could have played. So, yeah, like, listen, we're on
Ladies and gentlemen,
yes, Jade
we are the
Cargill.
Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. Jade Cargill, I love you. I love you. I hate your husband because I am a Pittsburgh Pirates fan and he used to kill my Steelers. But before this minute ends, guys, before we get back, I want to share some interesting stats about the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast
All
that
right.
actually just surprised me. Drumroll, please. The Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast officially has over 200,000 views total.
Damn. 200,000?
It has 212,000 views.
Damn,
total.
that's a lot, people.
At only 715 subscribers.
715? I thought it was 713. See, I don't even know what I'm doing.
So, I mean,
You're
you've been doing a hell of a job. I mean, you joined April 24th of 2020.
Mm-hmm. 4 years.
If I could go back and see my first ever video.
I know that'd be funny. What about our friend Carlos, who was
we got 5 seconds left.
Okay, well, we'll be right back. And we are back. We are going to be ending our coverage of SmackDown with a crazy segment that takes place. We have the new Bloodline coming out to the ring. They have Bronson Reed with them. And then the OG Bloodline come out, which is Roman Reigns, the Usos, and Sami Zayn. And they face off with the new Bloodline. So says Roman, I'm not here to fight you. I love you. If the 4 of you join my bloodline, we can run this company for decades. Surrender yourself and join my team, or the 4 of you will die where you stand. And then Paul Heyman returns. He comes out. Paul says, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. Forgive me, but I was put through a table in Madison Square Garden. There's no way to do WarGames 4 versus 5. However, it will be 5 versus 5. And the 5th member is this man. And CM Punk comes out, and the OG Bloodline and CM Punk fight with the new Bloodline. The OG Bloodline stands tall, and then Roman and CM Punk face off with Paul Heyman on the apron. Some little things that I had on Facebook that people were talking about. One, Paul Heyman's attire was matching Solo Sikoa's. Paul was wearing black with the red shirt and the little red lapel. And another thing that was mentioned was this is the first time that we've seen Paul Heyman leave without Roman. He walked off with CM Punk first, and then Roman followed. So the floor is yours. What did you think about this segment? What do you think about Punk being the final member and everything?
This is how things come together to keep.
I still would have liked this to be a family-only bloodline match. This was definitely a big swerve. It's just interesting to me that Roman Reigns has been trying to get a hold of Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman hasn't answered, and all of a sudden he shows up with his ex, CM Punk. It's very interesting. We got to hear answers, and I can't wait for Friday because we got to know. First off, why hasn't Paul Heyman answered any calls? Second, why is CM Punk here without Roman's approval? Or did they have an approval? Or did he know the whole time? Who knows? What's the reason that CM Punk is willing to do this? Is it for the respect he has for Paul Heyman? How are the other members of this going to feel? Is Seth Rollins somehow going to get involved? I mean, there's so many different questions and scenarios that are going to play out from Friday leading up to WarGames. I love WarGames when it comes to prediction. That was my first ever predictions I did here. Fun fact, I joined the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I officially became the co-host December 1st of 2022.
Oh, wow.
So that is going to be 22, 23. Yeah, I was going to be 22. Yeah, that would be, yeah. So that'd be It's gonna be 2 years. So,
Oh, math. I thought we were in 3 at this point.
no, so did I. So did I. It feels like it though.
It does. We covered a lot.
It's interesting, and I usually have been correct with war, but I bring that up because I've been correct with war games, and I just have had this luck. So I think there's a lot of scenarios. I'll wait till war games, even though my predictions don't really. The prediction of what I think is going to happen doesn't care. The goal is just to predict who wins and loses the matches. But I think I wouldn't be surprised, I should say, if Paul Heyman does somehow turn on Roman by just giving like Roman the Ula fillet or whatever it's called. So
what is it? The Afafula, the whatever the fuck it is. Well, the Afafula, whatever.
Lula Lopa, I don't know what the fuck it's called.
It's like different names every time they talk about it. I have a feeling, and I'm probably gonna be wrong. I feel like CM Punk is gonna cost Roman Reigns, and I think we're gonna see the best in the world become a heel again. And not that I want to see him fight Roman because I want to see him fight Seth, but I wouldn't mind seeing Punk and Roman. You know, with Punk as the bad guy. But
That'd be interesting.
That's just my take because there's no reason for Punk to want to team with them, and if he does, he's probably gonna screw them over. So. But with that, we have covered all of Monday Night Raw. I'm sorry, SmackDown. Hi, I'm in the wrong fucking day. We will be covering Monday Night Raw, and then we've got Survivor Series War Games coming up. We've got our Full Gear recap, which will be coming shortly. I got to finish the pay-per-view. I will. But yeah, we've covered all of SmackDown. Christian, thank you for joining me again. Make sure you subscribe, like, hit the notification bell to stay notified when new content is created. And
AEW is fucking ferocious, guys. Real quick, we got some time here, dude. I'm watching I'm not gonna say anything. No spoilers. We'll maybe review it, maybe not. Who knows? I want you to watch it. AEW's. I love the company. I love it. You know, they were right down the road last week, and I didn't even go see them. They need to fix what they're doing. You can't have Mercedes Moné go out there and horribly act with some girl that nobody knows and have them break up. The crowd, no pop. No pop. They're doing the Continental Classic. They're gonna have good matches, but they need to do stories, guys. All I'm saying is this shit is unwatchable. This shit has been unwatchable for months. And they need to pick it up. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
No, listen, I agree. You know, I only watch the pay-per-views, so I don't really know what happens, you know.
I mean, I'm going to watch it because I have nothing else to watch on a Wednesday, but it's, holy shit, sometimes it's like.
What am I watching? I get it, man. Well, yeah, we'll cover.
And Chris Jericho's on, yeah, I'm turning it off.
He's going to fight Ishii again, I think. For like 10 times. Are you
fucking serious?
Yep, I think so, from what I saw. Well, we have covered all of SmackDown. We'll be covering more. And we'll talk about AEW at Full Gear, definitely for sure.
I don't know if I want to do that. No, I'm just kidding.
But yes, until next time, stay safe and stay uncensored.